You know, it's not like me to brag here on Explore Tulsa, but in my younger days, I was quite the artist.
Stevie, you were 3 and painting on your parents' walls with watercolors.
I was ahead of my time, Trish.
Well, a young local artist that really does show quite a bit of talent is making her way onto the art scene in a big way.
Anna Rutherford was just recognized by the Royce Myers Gallery, where her work is now available along with several other great artists.
When I discovered that I was an artist was in 4th grade. I was doing this mosaic project, and my teacher put it was a fox, and it was turquoise and bright orange, and she put it into a contest, and I won 1st place. She went up to my parents and said, "She's got it, she's an artist." So ever since then, I've always taken classes and been really involved in all sorts of arts. My father's side has painters, and they just kind of did it as a hobby. And my mother's always been a photographer, but no one's ever been a fine artist and a painter like I have. In my senior year of high school, I started taking AP art classes and kind of discovering scholarships and different opportunities. Fine arts is when you use your hands and you create, the brush strokes, or you use tools to carve into things. I definitely love using oil painting. Oil paints can really, create that skin tone and that sheen, and you create rich, beautiful colors that you can't create with other materials. I also do bronze casting. Bronze casting, it is casting sculptures that you've created out of clay into bronze pieces. My style actually spawns from, I have RA, rheumatoid arthritis. When it's cold out, it's really hard for me to hold on to brushes. And so I kind of create my own tools. I'll wrap rags around thin brushes so that I can grip them better, and I do a good job of catering. There are certain days that I just can't paint, and then the next day I'm on fire, and it always gives me a drive, and it always gives me subject matter to paint. And so I look at it as a positive thing, and it's really interesting. I've had a lot of people come up to me and tell me their stories about the different things that they struggle with, whether it's a family member who has diabetes, or they had cancer, or even just small, mental illnesses. So it's really fascinating how it's reached out to people. I do private commissions, and so I am driven sometimes, by what their vision is of something, like if I'm doing someone's dog to illustrate or their wedding. But as far as my own work, my drive is something that it's just, I wake up and I think about art. My art that I create it's a lifestyle. And everything I do when I drive down the street and I see, a certain leaf or a shape, I'm like, wow, that'd be a beautiful painting, in the background. It's just a continual instinctual thing. It's certainly like an inner drive that I've always had, and I can't imagine not feeling that way. I definitely want everyone to be able to look at my work and say, oh, that's Anna's, handwork, that's her brushstroke. But I don't want to cage myself to being open-minded to new ideas and forms of art and different ways to express myself. But I don't want to lose myself at the same time. I just started in the past 6 months doing live painting. And it's been a really great experience for me and for everyone else. Even simple things like mixing my paints in front of people, they had no idea that you didn't just buy it out of the tube. And it wasn't so much of the piece that I produced as much as the act of painting and getting to see what most people don't get to see. They see a finished product, but they don't see how it happens. A lot of people feel that you would have a lot of anxiety, but I get really excited about it actually. But I think that pressure really gives me some drive to really focus and get some work done. I've been able to really paint pretty quickly and kind of push myself and, see how fast I could work. And I think my speed has definitely developed. What I love most about getting to do artwork is I'm happy every time I step into my studio. always want to be in my studio. Sometimes I have to pry myself out, like fall asleep standing up because I love what I do so much. And I hope that everyone can do something that they, want to push themselves and put their all into. And so I'm really lucky I get to do that. That's huge for me.